on this plan?
Well, thank you for that question. I believe that women have a critical role in leading the development of Africa. I saw when I was there on the continent for the first time 2 months ago. I was there in Ghana, and I saw so many women entrepreneurs just on the street selling their wares. And I said, I saw these people as just entrepreneurs, all of them. And these are people who, when women decide to do something, when they put their mind to do something, they get it done. They get it done. And it was just a beautiful sight to see. And it's just a sample of the type of leadership that women and the role that women will play in the future for Africa. As mothers, as sisters, as grandmothers, we have our motivation is always the children. We feed our children first. We make sure that our children have clothes. We make sure our children have school. We make sure our children have a roof over their head. Now, the man may provide, but the women are the ones who are distinctly making sure they're studying that child and that child has his needs met. And so that is the way the women are, and that's the leadership style that we have. And so I'm happy to we have young women that are on the Rapid Africa Plan who bring a difference. Listening to their voices when they say something, it is something that, if everybody kind of looks back and say, we hadn't thought of it that way. That is a time and time again, the examples of what women bring to the table. It is time out for any type of trying to hold women back and trying to put them in their place. A woman brings something special to the table. Even the creator knows that. That's why he created a woman, okay? Adam, you need some help, okay? Whether you believe in the Bible or not, there was some help, right? That's because the woman has a certain role. So I'm so excited that we have women that are industrious, they are thinkers. I've talked to we've connected, the Rapid Africa Plan, we've connected to several groups. Some in the diaspora. We even have a company from Canada that's a nonprofit organization that's headed by a woman. And one of her things that she talks about is her goal for their corporation. They have a nonprofit. They want to fund 100 Black tech companies. Okay, 100 Black tech companies. They want to start, those startup companies, because they see technology, and we see technology as Africa's future. These are the kind of things that we should encourage our daughters to get into technology, not necessarily to go into all of the traditional roles like a nurse or a teacher, but also be that scientist, that engineer, that mathematician. These are the kind of things that we want to encourage the youth of Africa, the young women of Africa, as well as the young men of Africa. Our youth are going to lead this thing, and the women are going to be right there too. And so it's awesome how these things are coming together. Just as Jerry Rollins would say, it was a power cake. He said it wasn't a coup, it was just a power cake. He said, I just ignited it, okay? So that means the people were ready. The people were ready for change, and that's what I think is happening today. People are ready for change. They're ready for something different, and it's getting to the point where they're not going to continue just to ask. If they're not going to ask, they're going to take. They're going to take over and take dominion of their own lives, and so it's going to be great.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you so very much, Sam. I know that people are anxious to ask questions, and most of them are already asking, when are you opening the lines? Yes, the lines are open, Floyd. I hear you from Malawi saying, when are you opening up the calls? The calls are open, and Yeah, while we're waiting to take the course, I'll ask the technique. Please, can you bring Professor Huntington on the show? So when there are questions that are coming for him or for President, Her Excellency Samantha, that so we could engage the conversation. So please call and ask your questions. But one thing before we get this course, I want to remind and thank all of you that are watching from our platforms, and we have multiple platforms that are streaming the Pan-African Daily TV these days. We have the Africa platform in the Netherlands. We have the ones on the continent, the ones in the diaspora evening. And we have thousands and thousands of people that keep following the Pan-African Daily TV every day. We are so grateful and thankful. And that is exactly one of the points, like you're saying, Samantha, that we are ready. We are ready. Now, the Rapid Africa Plan should have a sector. For instance, Samantha, if we listen to Professor PLO Lumumba, we know it's all about good governance and leadership on the continent. So we take him like it's a political plan, how we put good governance in place, right? And we know that the outspill of leadership would create jobs, would create an economic mitigation and gains and whatever. Now we look at Dr. Arikana Shikomoriko and the ADDI structure. You could see an economic liberation plan for its people, diaspora returning, engaging, investing, creating, and owning Africa that we want, right? We look at Joshua Maponga, you see his plan, it's very clean and clear. We want to restore the dignity of our kingdoms back to its structure that it used to be, so as to empower us to be the Africans that we are. You look at the Pan-African Daily TV, you know its plan is clearly the media, the main media of the continent that connects its diaspora back to the continent and report the news of Africa from an African perspective. Now, the Rapid Africa Plan, where would you position it? It's an overall, I think. Oh, of course. And if you look at Osman Touré, now you already heard digging out all those, those entities that were there, but particularly positioning it into investment and business and economy and education. Now, Rapid Africa Plan.
Well, thank you for that question, because truly, Rapid Africa Plan is an umbrella for all aspects of social, economic, educational, political, government. It considers the royals and the kingdoms, and the chiefs and the kingship as a moral compass. It looks at culture. It makes space for African culture. It's saying, look, Africa should not be defined by any European structures, any Western structures, any Asian structures. Africa should be defined as Africa, who she is. And that means we don't give up our culture to make somebody else comfortable. It means we don't give up who we are, our brains, our minds. We're able to think. We're creative people. And so we explore, let's start afresh. That's what the book is about. The book says, let's start afresh. Let's hit the reset button. Let's say, okay, we're going to define Africa as who we want it to be. Okay, not vacating any of our heritage. See, when they took human resources from Africa to the tune of 40 billion people with the slave trade, to be a pilot. The mother said, no, you're going to be a doctor. But he had a dream to be a pilot, right? Those are the things that we have a child out there that wants to be a pilot, okay, who lives in Africa, who lives on the continent. That kid should be able to have that dream realized and not have to go to another country to do that. We've been working right now. The Rapid Africa Plan has been working with universities, and we are trying to develop a leadership program on the university campuses, that because leadership is very important. We've gotten away
I'm there. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, look.
Hold on. I wanted to ask now. So, in a nutshell, if we want to pass across a message, what would be in the minds of the generation in 2020 if they would have to tell the story of the world further to the next centuries and decade? What is registered in 2020 is COVID-19, the world pandemic that reboots the world, right? So, is Rapid Africa Plan saying to all Africans, this is the story that would be spoken, this is the narrative, this is the message that would be spoken and carried from decade to decade? The rapid, in as much as the world is talking about the pandemic and COVID, Africans will be talking about RAP, rebooting a system and putting it back on track. Is that the way forward?
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, first, I want to come back to, the idea of the gap that, President Jerry Rawlings, in a very, very brief, a moment, first we want, we at the Rapid Africa Plan, we want the people of Ghana, we want the children, the family of, President JJ, that we are in mourning together. We want to then he went into hospital. We had the book signed for him and everything, and that was it. But in Africa, we say, in my country, we say when one chief dies, another one rises. And by God's planning, one of our board members had lunch with another former president. I can't tell you from which country, but right there, God is just playing, is working with this plan. But the key thing is that, when a man leaves a legacy, he leaves an unfinished job. So number one, we need to emulate. That's why history is important. We need to emulate. We are learning leadership from them, and we need to emulate how they structured and how they went through, how they solved their problems, and how they drove and kept their passion and their vision. And then the next thing is we need to carry on with that mission. You know, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah left the mission, and Dr. Jerry Rawlings picked the mission. And I want to say to the Africans today that, you know, the Rapid Africa Plan is the story, and it's the only story that you know, people are going to talk about for decades. I want to say this, that very categorically, mathematically, scientifically, right? That is the math, that is the numbers. Because I studied this and I turned every stone. The next decade belongs to Africa. Don't listen to this Western news, Western media. They don't respect us, don't honor us, don't believe that we exist. We can do our own math. We are smart. And I say, I'm not declaring because it is happening itself, because God made it so. The next decade is going to be Africa's decade. The following decade is going to be Africa's decade. And the following, and the following, and the following. Every decade to come is going to be Africa's decade, because China was growing its economy, but the population was growing slowly, right? Africa, the population is going to double in 40 years, which the Chinese have never done. And what does that do? It explodes the market. And now the key thing is that what we are trying to do is not new. We you know, the things that we wear, you know, we drive, we eat and we ride and we fly are exactly the same that any other nation has done. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. What we're doing is model mapping and saying which stuff works for us. Then we get that. Then we fast track ourselves, right, to today and meet the technological research and advancement that we are catching, because every technology leaves wealth. You know, the cell phones leave wealth. You know, the WhatsApp, the satellite, everything leaves wealth. So the key thing is that the way the Rapid Africa Plan is packaged is that it has looked at everything. The Africa Union, the regional groups, the individual governments themselves. There's a sign that says you cannot create change by fighting the existing reality. You create a new reality that makes this one obsolete. That is the signs of transformation and revolution. So there's the precision in which the Rapid Africa Plan has been structured is such that there's no other way. And we're setting the best team, because Jerry Rawlings, there's no other former president right now except maybe Dr. Kaunda, who had the charisma, who had the passion, who has the power, and we had put him there. And then we have President Addo, who is ready, President Magufuli, President Masisi of Botswana, and President Paul Kagame. That is the team. What other team can you set up? It's the best team. And then we have the best people in Africa. All we are doing now is here, we have the Rapid Africa Plan Board. We have set up now the African Modernization Board, whose role is to create all the processes, the organization, and structure them. Then when we are ready, we say, guys, right now, the government's existing, we run in parallel. We run here designing concepts. When we are ready, then we meet. Then we say, what are we going to do to drive this? The only thing missing is the African has been taught to work on intelligence and academics. But the most important thing is seeing. It's about seeing. You know, I come from an engineering background. I come from a chemical engineering background and building systems engineering, but I never used any of that. There are certain signs where the visionary part we need to see, but the biggest problem is that we're so too intelligent to ourselves to realize that the time is now. We are behind the Chinese. Every minute there are hundreds and hundreds of coming, and we still talk, and we still talk, we still talk. We need to find a plan. We have the plan. What are the plans? If not rapid, then what? If not fast track, then what? If not that one, then which one? What we need to do now is to unite. We want to call on all those people that have these voices that are and talking. Stop talking, brother. Come, let's work together. We have a plan and work this plan because this plan is the plan. They're going to talk about for decades and decades and decades. Everything is included. Now, all the effects, like as the VP said, the umbrella plan is
assembling Banjira Manu Shukuru. Tenem ka Banjira ne Shukuru katimia. Tete la firla kania. Tete kom. Teneng paya. Ashipte school te tali secondary school. Katimera. Ezu Nana Addo nda yele na Ghana tenen number pam kambonsele na Ghana ya mobododo dagbanle Ghana tenen number pam tejin legrezo amakum malte kala la ko da yele omborning yellow na zungo gba kakuma de kote pompo akade yage but I yon to me and the Kogama Dama NDC Dabi government in it Akufo-Addo na menjene Kogama ago then zo NDC tumak tentum dama then kabazan nan comparison mana Akufo-Addo o promises wa akawali o akawali ma ka Ghana numa yel na to the patali tribal te zantumo no onnen katenya kabazan old kana angme football ka aji mebo boka benanga bo wala red card tomboring yellow na te try mo o ya na te try mo nyama te try o failure zero oboto number show then so what and check ozang o portmanteau obaji ka lapse en changinga inko now iko NDC and lapse na attention Kogama azugo free S.H.S ma Babanang de Venya then check ka double track ma kana traffic light ma Dama teda be government today to mean free S.H.S. The kana Bima Bangarse. Those who tada pili in 200 new senior secondary schools, so that when the children come, they will all get places to go. Akufo-Addo kana ko chel lalai 200 schools ma buy and zan labe. So Bima Karat Garsema. Then check ka double track ma kana. Dozo anye kabi kana yiga chirata and can't yiga kabo ajara wula akuchan shukuru the nabe parties ago the nabe parties ago chiri yini chiri the nabe parties ago chirata the nabe parties ago bondalika yanchan school traffic lights man bama. Abu yu venyaga ka ajaratin numpua. Konyavle Sam. Denzo NDC Munjon Mahama. Now iko tenkana. NDC nekana. Until now, Lala schools ma za. Yum. Katazam bibi ma za in chan Lala schools ma. Umpon yale. Ne from 7th January. Ne labga president. Until Ghana za. Yung 1 year. Yung yini konko. Lala traffic light ma. Ting yele and zan labe. Ezu Tuma Binsha Bumbo free primary health care. Health insurance bidding. Ama annual health insurance ma. Ghana was za 40% Konko Ama health insurance card. Bank Palm insurance card. There's a robot chang asifte but dear bats legre. There's a Tian free primary health care man na. Until banka the health insurance card ma. Lala free primary health care ma. Ati chang aspiti. Amal a Ghana card den wo kama Ghana nirbinya. Anzan Lala card man we. Kabo sabe den be card ma zogo. Kabo tiba free of charge. Aku yo benshao. Ezu. As a Katinamal program, Shelley, National Apprentice Program. To Bibi Ma to Zobli Ban Chand Kumase Manakranti, then Kaya Yema. To go chak Kabo Chang and Tin Kaya Ye. Tia and Zamba me, and Zamba to Master Nama. Ban Taylor. Ban hairdresser, ban dogro food. Bindera. Kabuwuba to me yo Kabu chant be Kabu chant bam those are book yo bisha yelling yelly button nine katetiba sewing machine be hair dryer be gas cooker mana frying pan babayans chant nung botuma kat chepsba Kababa chant. There's a Yapam Suglo Mendagmalima, the canal Bela. As you to manifesto ni, we have promised to pay Arabic teachers so that the teachers at the Makaranta level who teach our young children Arabic and the tenets of the Quran, we will pay them a stipend so that they can teach our children well. We're also going to improve all the schools under the Islamic Education Unit. And we're going to build new schools in all the Muslim communities so that more of our children can go to school and also make a difference in their lives. Timal Bensha Bumbon Soyeya Fund. That is a fund where we're going to give little monies to women, especially in Muslim communities, that they can improve their income levels and be able to look after their children and send their children to school so that they can also become somebody in future. Tell you them people ago. Bazang legre enter nirba. Ayaluna. Legrema lumi kamansa. ayaluna batiza ayaluna ma enkana yidiema dama Ghana telegre nyale mambola la legre en song $300 million kan zang stabilization fund money coronavirus kanama ka parliament yelba no jomama oche legre shele stabilization fund yi chanti yi shele en zang kubukata coronavirus mazugo to lala legre ma kabachang en zang tete nira ayaluna tiyambo timanga shem enye human na mbongo wala ke be ka te lala legrema yimi ne tiyam ning people donzo ke kana nzan lala legrema tete yi tia ne yinto date yikuto date but it legrema abi bin yalsham nana na akufado na takata ta legremo ama ade legrema pito dama ote di okukata bo assembly ama apite Mahama kajo Mahama kana on come to do assembly mazugo mbani ya legrema tza dinin yale nkukata bo assembly ma Eza atib wega bensha anuni yes. I can't leave here without mentioning my friend S.H.S of Ambaria. From my father's time, Mahama and Afajira, they were friends. And that friendship has continued till today. Sheikh Said is like an elder brother to me. And so, under my government, we will continue to support Ambaria to grow from strength to strength, to be able to educate our young people and be able to let them lead upright and moral lives. And so that's my message for Sheikh Said and Ambaria. So, again, Nama Agbo Bene Anuni. Abu mide hamfani na shed tete barge ka bande hamfani NDC kat dag bebe ya katibu mi NDC ba hamfani ka NDC te barge ka pompo te zan furla anya furla ngwa te zan furla mbo NDC she Ezu Denekat zam furla wontanne mbo NDC she ama now ikozugo NDC ne labna antishin kugama azugo antum antise denzo onko talk pam ben mabia people Banama NDC nye number 2 then they go ayulu Banama Bazang Banama ta anye NDC presidential candidate ma John Mahama JM anye o photo nemani kanye oyule mana lemma kazan anudo nzan deb susu nema ezu anai ka bata parliamentary one So parliamentary one ma anye Alaji Suyini anye ngononya number 2. Ngononya number 2. Donzo Anzang Anudo and the pay Anulo Ina Pam Suglo and the pay Banama Anai Kazam Binchara and Zang and clean your hand. You have to let the ink dry on your hand. An ne kadukugi depalala atba banama the nan banama kadenya debayi deten debayi to vote ma sama then zero yigza yurle number 2 Alaji Suyini number 2 John Mahama. Ezu Alaji Suyini Mbimbala Ezu Daba Ampa Lodina no binye Suyini Dezugo Mbanya Oba but you must be proud to have him as your MP. He is one of our young, bright stars in the NDC party. He is one of those on our bench who, when they stand up to speak, it is just a joy to listen to them because they are well read and they talk very deeply and intellectually. So the people of Tamale North must feel proud to have him as your MP. And I know you are going to return him to Parliament on 7th December 2020. But before victory comes, we have to be vigilant. Let all of us not say that because there are 2 party agents at a polling station, I'm going home to sleep. All of us will be party agents on that day. And all of us are going to be vigilant. Everybody own your polling station. We have 9-member executive in every polling station. There will be 2 party agents at the polling station, but the rest of you must go from house to house and pull all the NDC people out to come and vote. And then, when it is time to count, all of you must come back to the polling station and witness the count. And when they are counting, you count with them. 1, open your eyes and count 1, 2 until they finish counting. When they finish counting, all of you record the results and then WhatsApp it to your friends. Let the results go out. Because the only way that we can lose this election is if we are not vigilant. Everything shows that we will win. After the parliamentary, we have won already. Because our own final official opinion poll puts us at between 143 and 145 seats. And that is the majority in parliament. So what we are struggling for now is the presidency. And I know, inshallah, we shall win the presidency, inshallah, by the grace of God. So I'm going to raise Suini's hand so that you know that he's the one who is officially our candidate for Tamale North. And so on 7th December 2020, please cast your votes for Honorable Alhassan Shaibu Suini. Netuma Pam, now Tete Nasara, now Ninga Baka Ningame, Netuma.